You need to shut the fuck up.
Hey, motherfuckers. This is Minx. Suck my balls.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
Put on your uniform right.
Expert Action Badge.
Show up to work on time.
Expert Action Badge.
Qualify on your weapon.
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
Find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right. Just doing your noble warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
Muted. Just kidding. Let's try this again. I swear I have not been drinking at all today. No, like at all. I have not been drinking. And yet I fucked that up a little bit.
Just a little?
I don't know. Like I'm sick. Like I called in sick today. Mostly because, you know, it was cold, but then also like I was having a fever of like 102, and so my brain's kind of a little fried right now.
That could happen if
right?
you're running 102.
No. Actually, it's up to only if your core body temperature gets to like 110, then your brain starts to fry, and then you get into like, you know, heat stroke.
I thought it was 108.
I mean, you know, tomato. At that point, does 2 degrees really matter? Kinda. But
was toast at that point after 105.
Right? That's why they say, you know, seek medical aid if you get past 104.
Yeah. You're supposed to go to the ER like right away.
Yeah, that whole thing. So how was your New Year's? I haven't talked to you since Thursday, which is weird because you and I are normally on Tuesdays. It was, you know, it's refreshing almost to be on there with Ice on Thursday. That was fun.
And I came in on Friday too.
You did?
Or did you say that already?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wow. No,
Sorry.
But no, my New Year was very uneventful. I stayed at home. I watched some foosball and we're not going there right now. We're not going there right now. That's all I'm gonna say about
SEC.
The mighty Auburn lost to a group of 5 teams.
That's fine. Auburn didn't even make it into the semifinals, so Auburn has no room to talk. Just like my team has no room to talk. We may have gone to some random fucking bowl game, and we put up it was a good game too. Oh, but we still lost, but it was a good game. In total points, it was over 100 points combined. Like, yeah, it was a good game. And you're like, God damn, it's just a back and forth.
And I brought that up as a bowl season kicked off and whatnot. And I think that was that second week or whatever. There have been a lot of good bowl games. There were a lot of good bowl games, and there were some blowouts. There were some games that weren't so good, but a majority of the bowl games this year were actually pretty good.
Yes, I myself and Siren actually walked over to the lovely Spanky's house, and we got Spanky to sports last night. We went over there to watch the Rose Bowl, and so my ex-husband Ghost, he is Big 12, so he's an OU fan, right? So out of principle, I had to not cheer for OU because I didn't have to anymore.
That's always a good reason to not cheer for someone.
But at the same time, I don't like Georgia because mostly Georgia fans. It's the same with Alabama, but at the same time, I'm an SEC person because of my team. So it was very difficult because on the one hand, I was like, SEC, that would be fucking awesome if we had an all SEC championship game. Suck a dick, everybody else. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't like either of these two teams. So what do I do?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Could be worse, right? Could be two floppers in there.
Right. Like Ohio or like Iowa.
Wow. Hey, my team won their bowl game. So listen, Aggie.
Right. I mean, it could be A&M and Iowa going to the championship. Although
it is snowing in Texas, so
it is snowing in Texas, which we are not prepared for. But then also, we did acquire Jimbo Fisher, so. And our team's fucking young. We are really the majority of the Aggies football team is freshman, sophomore, with a couple juniors and a handful of seniors thrown in there. So our team's young, which means there's only one way to go. Hopefully Jimbo can erase this curse that seems to happen with the Aggies and once November hits, we forget how to football. So hopefully,
forget how to football.
It's true. You look at our fucking record and it's we're good August, September, October. November 1st hits and it's oh, what do we do? What's going on? What the hell are we doing out here? That whole thing.
Oh man. Forget how to football.
They
That's
do.
awesome.
They fucking forget. That's all that's really that's all I can really chalk it up to is that they just fucking forget how to play football. Because again, they will be kicking ass and taking names up until October 31st and then fucking midnight
Something happened.
something fucking happened. It's so aggravating.
Oh God, it's awesome.
But yeah, let's see what else. So everybody, this is my face, right? On Friday. So Friday, on our Friday show, we had a very angry hobbit come into the chat section and proceeded to make a remark that I was apparently wearing too much makeup. So now I'm not wearing any. So suck a dick, you angry hobbit.
Everybody's still angry.
Right? This is my face. But no, this exciting little thing happened right before I got on air. So an ex-boyfriend's current wife. All right, let's see if we can follow this track, okay? So one of my ex-boyfriends, his current wife, for whatever reason, I have never met this woman before in my life. I've never met her. Mm-hmm. for whatever reason, like, you know, a year ago, she contacts me and like is going off on me about how she is uncomfortable with him and I still being friends. I'm like, cool. Like, he hasn't talked to me anyways. Like, so what is the issue here? Like, it's not like I'm actively seeking him out at all. Like, we broke up years ago for a reason. Right? So, exactly. Like, this isn't even like a recent ex-boyfriend. Like, we dated in 2013. But apparently I'm still somewhat of a threat because she likes to message me every so often. Well, anyways, she messaged me tonight and she on Facebook, which is funny because she has my phone number somehow. I don't know how the fuck she got my phone number, but I keep messaging her every so often and be like, hey, how you doing? Because I'm a bitch. But yes, and so so this chick, she messages me tonight on Facebook Messenger, and she's like, you know, has this guy ever sent you this video? And it was for Crazy Girl from the Eli Young Band, which, come to think of it, it's like, oh yeah, that was like my theme song for him. But I didn't say that. Instead, I was like, you know, new phone, who dis? Just because, again, I'm a bitch. And I have no problem fucking with people.
Oh,
What? It's true.
Casey Lynn says you should have just started to flirt with her.
Dude, no, she's not cute, though. So...
Oh, there's that, yeah.
Right? Like, so then there's that. And so then I'm like, well, do I flirt with some hooker who's, like, not attractive? And then, like, what if she develops a crush on me? And then that's just going to be awkward for the both of us. Because I'll be like, no, bitch. Like, swerve.
That again?
Swerve.
Oh, my God.
Right? Yeah. So, that's been my day. This fucking random chick messaging me. Has he ever sent you this? Like, why does it matter? Like, is this really so important to you that you have to message me randomly at night? Just ask me, like, has he ever sent you this video? Maybe. Like, he might have said it's my goddamn theme song. But why do you care? I should have told her that, though.
Oh,
damn it.
God.
I'm fucking crazy.
Minx, frag out. I do have KJ, if you're listening, first broadcast, 2018, first broadcast, this guy right here.
Oh, you? And not KJ?
Yeah. and I was the first broadcast because he had technical issues or whatever, quote unquote, calling in last night.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, I had a power surge.
Oh, yeah. God. Green Cloud. You're such a dick. No, but okay. So we were talking about, you know, like cold weather here in Texas, right? Yeah. Well, you remember how last January, the Feminists united and had themselves a little women's march?
Yes.
I fucking hate feminists. Y'all fucking ruin everything. Anyways, they're planning a part 2. But this time in Las Vegas because they realized DC is way too cold in January. So this article I found, it's hilarious. It goes, dig out those pussy hats and steam those vagina costumes because the Women's March is looking to draw out their relevance by hosting a second national event, the Women's March Part 2. But this time, they'll gather in sunny Las Vegas instead of DC. So according to Women's March organizers, who have been so busy planning their first anniversary, they've said nary a peep about the women-led protest in Iran. The first Women's March was so successful that they want to channel their energy into grassroots action, including a national voter registration drive. Which, okay, cool, but how are you going to make sure that these voters are legal to vote? Questions. Because, so side note, I don't know if you know this or not, but like, what was it? 134,000 more people voted in LA than were registered to vote.
Well, because of the, Coriolis effect and stuff.
Weird. Anyways, but we don't need voter ID or whatever. We don't need that. So the event, which is called Power to the Polls, because, apparently women don't have the right to vote anymore, will be held in Las Vegas, Nevada, location to be determined. Like their Detroit event, which proved largely unsuccessful and actually featured a male headliner in progressive presidential candidate Bernie Sanders.
Right, because that's who you want leading your Feminista event.
Right? Woo! Let's gather up all these strong, independent women and follow a man. That seems a little contradictory, but whatever.
Hey, in all seriousness, I think it'd be better if they had Bill.
Probably.
Because at least he understands how to work with women.
Right? So the Power to the Polls event is free. However, donations are strongly encouraged and travel is your responsibility. They picked Nevada, though, not for the weather, but for the headlines. According to their About page, Nevada has become a flashpoint for major issues in the U.S., from labor participation to gun control. They say, cynically using a national tragedy to promote their cause. And Nevada, they claim, is a battleground state in 2018, though Democrats have won most major statewide offices, and the state went solidly for Clinton in 2016.
Hold on. I gotta look something up quick.
Okay. What am I supposed to hold on to?
Oh, sorry. I was trying to, here we go. Okay, so Nevada carries a whopping 6 electoral college votes.
But we need it!
The same as Utah, the same as Kansas, the same as Arkansas, the same as Alabama, and yeah, that's the states with 6. That's what the feministas are equaling the Nevada presence to. 6 electoral college votes.
Well, I mean, they've already got all the states that have the most votes.
Right, and that's what I don't understand is how do you, if it solidly went for Clinton in the last election, how is it a battleground state?
I don't know.
It's not like, when contested areas of like Michigan and Ohio and Florida, those are true battleground states.
Pennsylvania?
Either way, and Pennsylvania as well.
Pennsylvania went red. Yeah. But okay, so anyways, but no one has ever claimed that the Women's March has self-awareness. This is true because they don't. In Alabama, this is from Linda Sarsauer, who's the co-chair of the Women's March. She said, in Alabama, black women delivered as they always do. In addition to being willing to follow and support black women, we must commit to fighting the systemic voter suppression laws that inhibit so many of our communities from voting. This campaign will mobilize a new group of activists to create accessible power to our voting polls. They also claim to be leading the way in the fight against sexual harassment, though that seems to mostly involve publicizing a Hollywood-based and Hollywood-funded effort to combat gender-based violence in the entertainment industry. Now, again, last time I checked, the 19th Amendment has never been repealed, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I don't understand what they're marching about. Women, breaking news, 2018, women can vote. Scandal.
Yeah, God forbid anybody actually understand that they can vote and they want to be looked at as equals and whatnot. And I've seen some really dumb comments on this whole women's movement and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Are there some inequalities out there? Got it. Are there some other issues about, KJ brought it up today about equal pay and whatnot. I got it. If it is equal, everything across the board is equal to include experience, education, time on job, and things like that, got it. It should be equal across the board. But to say, the stupidest one I ever saw was to say that they would like the same rights as people with guns or whatever, the same rights as a gun has.
Right.
Really connect.
That one makes me laugh.
Huh?
I said that one makes me laugh.
Yeah, the great retort was, so you want to be kept out of school? You want to be kept out of voting booths?
Right, yeah, exactly. You want to be kept out of bars, out of schools, out of churches, out of hospitals, voting polls, fucking everywhere else. You want at least, anywhere from a 2 to 10 day wait period before being able to be used. Come on now, ladies. I have never seen of or heard of a woman who's horny as fuck and is like, I want to get used tonight. And then is like, hold on though, we got to submit some paperwork. And then we got to wait anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks before my vag can get used. It doesn't happen. Just saying.
It's a waiting period.
Right? There's a waiting period before you can use that vagina. Can't do it. If you're horny right now, nope. Gotta wait.
Gotta wait.
No,
gotta
okay.
And background check.
The extreme hypocrisy that is the feminist movement and these women's marches is mind-boggling, astounding. Right? So they can parade around in their self-proclaimed pussy hats and costumes that look like the worst vaginas ever. Come on now. Either trim that shit up or get it waxed. Nobody wants a hairy vag. Sorry, it's 2018. Oh, natural? No.
And that...
No.
That time in the 70s?
Right? This is not the 70s or the 80s, okay? Frau Bush is not acceptable anymore. So your costumes that have, fucking hair all over it? No. No. 2, some of these go into such detail with, the labia majora and the labia minora. And then, inside, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, that's definitely the clitoris right next to your head. But then, you can see, they make details of inside, and you're like, oh, look, that's your cervix. Yes. I kind of want to go up to them and, hold, a fucking diagram and be like, hello, kids, this is what your vagina looks like. But they'll fucking parade that shit around in public and don't see the issue with that. But then when it came to the fucking Navy and their sky dick, and all hell breaks loose. Oh my God, it's a phallus. But it's okay though, because I can wear my fucking vag out in the public, and it's not offensive to anybody, and it's not gonna cause kids to ask any questions or anything. So fuck you and all your menaced views. Look at my fucking pussy costume. That's what fuck. Oh, God, I hate feminists.
Tell me how you really feel.
They're the worst. They're like a fucking cancer on society. They really are. The worst. The absolute worst.
Do you think, so for those that are not as bad as we've seen, right?
What do you mean?
So from what you're describing, right? So a lot of these people that go to these marches and whatnot, not all of them are on that extreme left or that extreme viewpoint of it.
Now the women who, but see, the thing is though, is that and the same thing happened with the Women's March last year, the one in DC. If you were a conservative woman and you wanted to march for, women's rights in, I don't know, fucking Afghanistan or fucking, Pakistan or anywhere fucking else in the world where women don't have rights, like, namely a bunch of the countries in Africa, you're not allowed to march. You're turned away because you're not following step by step with the feminist views of today. And those views being of extreme leftism, where it's like, oh no, President Trump is going to grab me by my pussy, but then I'm going to go look at some hardcore porn where, I'm just going to feel just completely defiled, right? And that's another thing. All right, okay, so I'll admit I watch porn, right? Whatever. And on my Tumblr, that's pretty much all it is. Fucking shit happens. But no, so I see some of these blogs where it's oh, we've got this madman in office who is talking about grabbing women by the pussy. And then their next fucking thing is a rape fantasy. And I'm like, what? You're over here talking about how you want to just grab some chick off the street and just take her into a van and go to town on her. But you're upset that our president said in a conversation with other dudes, which, let's face it, that fucking happens every goddamn day, where they're like, oh yeah, I totally want to grab this chick by her pussy. Girls do it too. Girls fucking do it too, where we're like, god damn, I want his dick. Or fuck yeah, did you see, I saw an outline of it, and dear sweet baby Jesus, I wanted to grab it. I want to be all over it. Fucking me and Spanky were doing that on fucking yesterday with the quarterback from Georgia. Good sweet Lord, his eyes. Oh my God, and he's legal, so it's okay, right? But I'm just saying, either way, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, you're gonna fucking ogle the opposite sex. If that's who you're attracted to, that's what you're gonna fucking do. And you might say things to whoever it is that you're around at the time that are considered inappropriate or sexual harassment or fucking whatever. And then, and normally 99% of the time, nobody gives a shit because we're all fucking thinking the same thing. But as soon as it's someone who you don't agree with, all of a sudden now it's wrong. So the fucking hypocrisy drives me insane. You can't have it both ways. You can't be all about protecting women and empowering and being oh no, we can't talk about, grabbing women by their vages or pussies, whatever, fuck a pussy. But then in the very next statement, you're bragging about how big your dick is and how, you fucked every chick from here to fucking San Francisco and how they fucking loved it and how you can't fucking get enough of the vag. And it's so again, the hypocrisy, it's aggravating. Kind of got on a little soapbox right there. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Am I wrong though?
I didn't say you were wrong. And I want to side with you on this because
what?
It's a double standard across the board, like you said.
It is.
If it's somebody you disagree with, then you're going to take the opposite stance, and it's that double standard that you see a lot from the left. That it's okay for us to do this, but it's not all right for anybody on the right to do it. I.e., look at again going back to all the current fallout. What was that? Matt Lauper? I don't even think that's being covered anymore.
Right? It's not. Because It got swept under the rug.
Right. But how often is Trump's issue still brought up?
every day. President Trump tweeted this. Oh no. Ban him from Twitter.
What?
Fucking ridiculous. Ugh. God, I hate people. It's hot. I'm burning up.
Joe Payne and Facebook Live. Good point. It wasn't this big a deal when Clinton was having his affairs, quote unquote, affairs.
God. Yes. Exactly. Like, it wasn't a fucking big deal when Bill Clinton was taking cigars and fucking chicks with their cigar. Let's all just forget about that little white stain on fucking Monica's dress, right? We're just gonna forget about this? No? Oh, okay. Fucking,
It's awesome. White stain. The white stained blue dress, yes.
You know, like he may have not like only ever performed, like oral sex and may have only fingered her and may have only penetrated her with a fucking cigar. Either way, I'm pretty sure we know for sure at least one of them got off at least once. Case in point, that blue goddamn dress. However. Fuck. Like, let's just not remember this, right? But Hillary! It's like, no, not but Hillary. And when it came out, Trump did the right thing and he apologized and he's like, I'm sorry I fucking said that, but, again, it's locker room talk, and which it fucking is. And any woman who's not fucking naive enough to believe that doesn't fucking happen on a daily goddamn basis is gonna understand that and be like, yeah, no, I get it. That fucking happens. But then you get these hookers who are like, oh my, they get almost fucking shocked that men talk like that. And they're like, oh no, oh no, I might faint. And like, oh. Sorry, I know you're trying to talk.
No, it's all good. But I was going to just say the locker room talk thing, right? And I've seen some guys on my real book comment on, oh, I'd never talk like that in the locker room, blah, blah, blah. I've never. Bullshit, motherfucker. I remember going to school with you. And you did talk like that all the time. So don't come at this fucking bullshit like, oh, that's so disrespectful. I would never talk like that. Bullshit, motherfucker. You're a Facebook warrior now.
Yeah.
I remember going to school with you, and that's what you were all about. And that's all I've got to say about that at the moment.
Yeah. Fuck. In short, right, as I conclude my little soapbox, in short, feminists are the worst, and I can't stand them, and I cannot wait to see the outcome of this new pussy march.
It'll be interesting. Oh, it'd be better if, so in Vegas, you've been to Vegas.
I have been many times. I was stationed outside of Vegas. Go on. I was just there, actually.
The card handlers.
Oh, yes. Yes, the dudes with the cards, and they're like going like this with their fucking cards, and it's not even the dudes. Chicks are out there peddling hookers too. And they literally, they give you stacks of these fucking cards, right? And then they've like, strategically placed stars over like, the hole. Because, the chick on the card's like wide open, right? And you can see everything. Hold on. Gray Cloud, are you okay? All right. But yeah, fucking these stars are, sometimes they don't get placed right over the hole and you're like, oh, I can still see it. But yeah, Gray Cloud, I'm concerned. Are you breathing right now? Okay, good. I can see him again. This is good. I got concerned. You okay?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Don't do that again.
So,
All right.
but yeah, that would be awesome if the card hand routers interrupted the march,
Right.
or were intertwined with it.
Right. Or the billboards with all the hookers on
Oh
them.
my
Like,
God.
call this number for a good time. And it's like, 20 hookers plastered up there. It's like, yeah, women empowerment. Damn it. But no, you can't shame sex workers now because that's sexist.
It would be
Right?
It'd be
So-
against their quote unquote
Well,
cause.
No, but no. Even feminists are like, we can't shame sex workers because, it's sexual empowerment for women and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you realize she's getting paid to fuck somebody because he wants to have sex and she doesn't, right? Like, so I don't understand how this is like sexual empowerment for women, but whatever. It's fine. It's the oldest. Prostitution is the oldest profession for women because let's face it, men are horny bastards. And when offered sex, they will do whatever they can to get said sex if she is attractive enough.
Yeah. So I heard an interesting. So it was like I listen to satellite, the Sirius and whatnot, the satellite radio.
Yeah.
And the comedian on there that puts it perfectly with the abortions rights being legal, right? Mm-hmm. And prostitution being illegal in most places. So what the government is telling you is that a woman's right to her body is in the uterus, but not her vagina.
Wait, what?
So if prostitution is illegal, but abortion is legal, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's my body, my choice, all that, right?
No. It's just she cannot get paid for the sex. So therefore, which is how prostitutes get around it, and escorts. This is where escorts and like sugar babies get around it, right? It's that
I got paid to walk around.
Well, no. They're not paid directly for sex, right? They're paid in different ways. Not all the times cash. Sometimes it's gifts, like a car or a house, or their guy or their sugar daddy pays their rent. So they're not technically getting paid to fuck them, but they are getting paid to fuck them. So
Yes, pay taxes.
Yeah.
Well played, Bronco. Well played.
What did Bronco say? Or Branco? It's
Yes.
Branco.
Branco, my apologies. She has to pay taxes. Not in Vegas.
Not in Vegas.
Not in Vegas.
Right? She only has to pay taxes if she claims it. Like, that's another thing. So,
Yeah, that's a whole other issue we won't get into.
tax evasion and shit.
Totally.
Or whatever.
We'll have to follow up, though. It happens.
Right. We are. We're
on
going
this
to
story.
have to. All right. So, I know everyone's like really interested in what happened at Fort Bragg. However, we're not going to get to it yet. But we will get to it. So apparently, the New York Times colluded with Hillary Clinton.
Oh my God.
True story. Yeah.
The Times is well above that. They don't do things.
Dude, your internet. What?
The Times is a reputable news source.
Oh, there we go. Right? No.
Supposedly.
But apparently they were like feeding articles to the Clinton campaign about like, oh, this is a story we're gonna run. Do you want us to run it? And then Clinton campaign would be like, no, don't. So there's that. And then also it broke out this last week. For From 2 different websites I got this information from. So Clinton allies paid close to $700,000 to women to accuse Trump of sexual misconduct the week before the election. I found this in 2 different places. What?
Go on.
Right? What? So 2 close Clinton allies dumped at least $700,000 to prominent sexual harassment lawyer Lisa Bloom to fund women willing to accuse then-candidate Donald Trump of sexual harassment and sexual misconduct the week before the election. So David Brock, who is a Democratic operative and the founder of Left-Wing Media Matters, described by the Times as Hillary Clinton's, quote, fiercest loyalist during her campaign against Mr. Trump, partially funded the effort with $200,000 of his own money. The other major donor uncovered in the report is longtime Hillary friend and fashion entrepreneur Susie Tompkins Buell, who paid a whopping $500,000 to fund potential accusers procured by Miss Bloom.
And this is why there's been no follow-up on these allegations.
What?
None there.
You mean these never happened? What? So Bloom, quote, seized on the political potency of sexual harassment charges against Mr. Trump not long after he clinched the Republican presidential nomination, reports The Times. The attorney admits to reaching out to Clinton super PACs for money to help her vet a sexual misconduct claim against Mr. Trump. The group was founded by Brock, American Bridge 21st Century Foundation, secretly spent $200,000 in an unsuccessful effort to bring forward accusations. Individuals familiar with the arrangements told The Times. And again, I found this at 2 different places. Apparently they did find some women. However, they wanted more money. One woman requested $2 million, but then decided not to come forward. Nor did any other woman.
So,
Now, Miss Bloom, who's the attorney who was offering this money to women to come forward, claims that she has no direct communication with Miss Clinton or her campaign on any of this, and insists she did not offer her clients money to come forward and only pursued clients with corroborated claims. Bloom admitted to keeping some funds to pay for out-of-pocket expenses, and she claims to have accrued while pursuing the cases. But again, let's all remember, nothing came about this.
Right. They were
they're unfounded.
Yeah, and dead on arrival for a lot of those. It was amazing that if you notice a lot of these other accusations, they kind of stuck with the story, and they eventually, some of them turned out to be accurate with a lot of these recent allegations, right?
Yeah.
But the Trump allegations died shortly after, I don't know, they came out.
Right, he got elected.
Like, they lasted all like 30 to 60 days max.
Maybe.
And people are asking him, what do you know about a couch for sale?
Oh, I actually have like a legit couch now, you guys. So it's comfortable too.
But I guess, oh shit.
Are we going back to the auction?
Apparently so. We'll let that run its course.
Right. Yeah.
But it's interesting that nothing. These accusations died out quickly, which would almost lend credence to the stories that you found about people being paid for words that were made up.
Right? Ooh, interesting.
Interesting how that works.
Yeah.
Because if had there been validity, you would have heard about a payout of hush money. The stories would have stuck with it to find this justice or whatever.
Yep.
And again, but it also goes back to the whole thing that what we've talked about many, many times on this station. The other day, harassed in 1885. I would like to come forward now.
Wait. I'm sorry. Say that again. Your fucking voice was coming in and out during that whole last little bit.
Oh, great.
I know.
I love my interwebs. No, it goes back to that whole thing about all these people waiting to come back or come forward well after the fact it happened.
Yeah.
I saw a meme today about a skeleton who claims they were harassed in 1885 and they'd like to come forward now.
That's hilarious.
It was good.
Oh my God.
And again, I know it's been brought up on our show. It's been brought up on ISIS show. It just, and again, there's all this fallout. Why wait so long is my thing. And I know this is a very subject that's near and dear to you. And it just drives me nuts. That's all. So,
but, right? It's weird. I know. I saw that comment about how I'm such a good reader and how you really enjoyed listening to me try to read. Thanks, you guys. I saw that. I'm trying. I even shortened some of this shit down.
Doc's got a comment in Mixer.
Oh.
Flash Trump to Kim Jong-un. My nuclear button is bigger than yours and actually works.
Right? Oh my God. But yeah, no, it's so aggravating. But I'm really glad though that none of these accusations really manifested jack shit. Because in 18 days, it'll be a year since he got sworn into office. So
it's true.
What?
And then they'll talk about the year in review and blah, blah, blah.
Right? And he'll do a State of the Union address.
Oh, yep, that's coming.
Right?
Phrasing.
Right? Phrasing. Boom!
Gotta love it.
No. I saw an article today about how apparently his approval rating has jumped a bit.
I have not seen that.
Oh God, now I have to find it.
Oh, look at that. It's the first Google hit. Trump ends 2017 with his highest approval rating in months, 4 hours ago. Look at that.
See? Told you.
He hit 40% for the first time since late September.
Although, honestly, I need to know who they poll because it seems like a very biased group of people.
So, one thing I've learned pursuing my degrees is that you can make numbers say anything. Oh, yeah. You really can. If you poll, like you were saying, if you poll the right demographic, or if you phrase a question correctly, or if you sort out certain data points, you can make numbers say whatever you want. And we all know that 73.5% of all statistics are made up on the spot.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's a good number.
86 3/4.
Right. 66% of the time it works every time.
I'm going to tell you that makes no sense at all.
But no. Your hair looks stupid. Damn it. San Diego. I'm gonna kill Grey Cloud again. Shit.
German for a whale's vagina.
Pretty sure it's not. Scholars say it's been lost in translation. Oh my god. Grey Cloud. Grey Cloud. You want to come over to my apartment later? I have many leather-bound books. My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
I love rich mahogany. As I enjoy my scotch.
Oh my goodness. All right, you guys, I know everyone is wondering when we're going to talk about Fort Bragg and Jose Tamale's story. We are going to actually do that after our break, which is coming up here soon. However, I wanted to touch on something really quick. So you remember how a couple years ago that notorious criminal named Freddie Gray died while in police custody in Baltimore? Yes?
Yes.
Do you remember? I remember. Well, yeah, kind of. Anyways, due to the amount of protests done in Baltimore, headed up by Black Lives Matter and demanding that there be police-free zones, shockingly, crime has gone up in Baltimore, and to include murders. But, and not just any crime, but, violent crime. Again, I understand this is shocking news. What? And apparently now, Black American residents of Baltimore are now blaming the police for not being there for the rising rates of crime.
Of course.
Even though the police did what they wanted them to do.
And go away.
But now it's the police's fault as to why there is now more violent crime in Baltimore. Shocking.
And
What?
This goes to the hypocrisy of the BLM movement, right? The police are too harsh. They suspect us too often. Blah 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 blah. They said, "Fine, we'll go hands off." And now they're bitching because the police aren't around to do policing.
Right? Oh no, you did what we wanted you to do, but it's your fault. Somehow.
Again, it goes back to make a choice. This is not. You can't have it both ways.
No, you can't. But yeah, so apparently. So yeah. Baltimore has now experienced higher murder rates for the last 3 years in a row after these riots, and BLM-sponsored protests began rocking the city after the death of, again, this Freddie Gray guy. Even though every single cop who was involved in his arrest was found not guilty and was acquitted of all charges. And let's also remember that 3 of those 6 officers were also black. So it wasn't just a white cop against a black dude. So let's
just how they try to paint it at first.
Let's just all fucking remember that detail. So since the riots, police morale has collapsed. Shocking. And city officials began planning a lighter police footprint in response to complaints of residents and protest leaders. But now, suddenly, black leaders are blaming cops for the spiraling out of control murder rate, saying that the police pullback has put them in danger. The Reverend Kinji Scott, a Baltimore activist, is blaming City Hall for leaving the neighborhoods unprotected. Quote, "We wanted the police there," Scott insisted. "We wanted them engaged in the community." We didn't want them beating the hell out of us. We did not want that. Scott and others are now pressuring the city to bring the police back as a deterrent to the soaring crime rate. Despite loud proclamations from Black Lives Matter activists that the police are the problem, Scott and his fellow activists are now claiming that they never wanted the police to go away. Again, it's mixed signals. Mixed signals, you guys.
You can't have it both ways. And if you would comply with officers' requests, there's a good chance that nothing bad will happen.
Wait, what?
I.e., put your hands and do what they say, and it'll be over.
Right? I've been arrested once.
No,
true story. I have.
That's impressive.
Whoops. In Germany. So it was the Polizei who got me.
Oh, wow. You're lucky you didn't get beat then.
Best believe I was on my best behavior.
So for those of you who don't know, the Polizei do not play in Germany and or Italy.
They can and they will beat you with their goddamn batons, right? Mm-hmm. And I knew this, which is why I was on my best goddamn behavior and made sure that I was the definition of proper little lady. My grandmother would have been so proud, except for the fact I was being arrested.
Chris Stallworth in Facebook Live. Can't they bus in more BLM activists to police their city? Or maybe they could have more murder stand-down weekends?
Right? Oh, maybe. Great points. It's brilliant. Why didn't we think of this?
Or maybe not loot a Foot Locker in protest of police brutality.
But no, somebody has to save the shoes, man.
Gotta save the shoes.
You gotta save the Jordans, okay? Like, duh.
4 pairs of Jordans.
They gotta be saved. Sorry, is that my privilege showing? I don't know.
No. Well, common sense is where it's at, Joseph. I mean, come on.
Come on. Hooray! Common sense. But all right, y'all. We are going to take a break really quick. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the 373rd Cav out of Fort Bragg because they are being super, super naughty. So hold on to your fucking, what is it? Hold on to your shit. We'll be right back.
Hold on to your butts.
Right. Oh, that's it. Hold on to your butts.
Noon. Gotta get it together, I gotta stay in tune. Seems time's against me, but I hate to rush. Gotta keep it between the lines until I hit the dust. I gotta buy some time. The key to freedom lies across the state line. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again.
No one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Fucking answer your phone, AK. God damn it, answer your phone.
I heard somebody talking about anal sex on the radio, so I figured I'd give my story. Give me a call back. Alright, bye.
Hello. I don't know what you're trying to do with all these British accents, but I'd really like it if you could call me back so I could read something for you. Bollocks. I just burnt my hair with my, rolled marijuana. Stupid strawberries and crumpets. I don't like it. Have a good day.
Hey baby, you gave me your number in the fucking bar. This is fucking Lewis. How you doing? I don't know why you ran off in such a rush. Yeah. I know you're digging my vibe, baby. Just give me a call back. You know the number.
Go fuck yourself, Bobby.
Hey, just want to talk about your guys' radio show and how awesome it is and the other guys sucked. Anyway, yeah, make America great again.
I don't know how to use this. Oh, velvet ears.
Put the monkey down. Oh, God. Never mind. Hey, brother, we need to get your show nationwide on this Sirius radio or satellite or something. Kind of hard to watch it when it comes on this damn little cell phone. Let's see what we can do to get you nationwide. Love to see you. Love to hear you. Continue on.
You guys need more fucking lines if they're all busy.
What the fuck?
Get some more. Let me shit in your mouth.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Oh my God. Those fucking voicemails kill me every time. Apparently we've gotten some more, so that's exciting. Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of Tied Up Tuesday. It is just, I almost said December. It's January 2nd, 2018. Welcome back. So we're just going to jump right on into it. Oh, Fort Bragg, you naughty bitch. In particular, 373rd Cav. Naughty, you naughty girl. So if y'all fucking missed it, Jose Tamale graced us with another report of, what's the right term? What would be the right term, Grey Cloud?
Well, it's much more worse than shenanigans.
Right? It's worse than shenanigans.
What?
So we'll go with that. I'm not good with words. If you guys have watched my show enough, you know this. Anyways, so the 373rd, which I tried to tag on our Facebook post, actually, so that way they can see that we're talking about them. Because, one of the things they were doing was that not only was the CO's wife in charge of the unit's Facebook page, which is a no-go, she was also paying for it to be promoted, which is also a severe no-go. So I want them to know that we are talking about them. What?
What?
I don't know. I just heard your voice fucking cut in.
I said, do we know, I think that's something they're trying to just determine is how was it paid for, that promotion.
I'm not sure.
Of the page.
I'm not sure. I've gotten some inside scoops from Jose Tamale himself, and he is still working on that. But yeah, okay, so I know, especially since his article came out yesterday and everyone was fighting a hangover, And his terrible broken English. And let's face it, like, this article was not easy to understand. I translated it for you. So basically, this is what happened. So Command Sergeant Major Clinton Murray of the 373rd Cav Unit is currently under investigation for many things. And has been under investigation since before Thanksgiving and has been, so currently the 373rd Cav is deployed in Afghanistan, right? He has been sent back from downrange, back to home station, since before Thanksgiving and has been given a no contact order to anyone in the unit since before Thanksgiving, and yet because he's a command sergeant major and he thinks he can do whatever he wants, he has not been following the rules of said no contact order. So, the S2 is of 373rd is also covering for him, and the reason they are covering for him is because everything that's been going on is going to make the unit, quote, look bad, unquote. And apparently Jose has really struck a nerve with Fort Bragg CID because they keep saying, we're coming after you, and he keeps laughing and says, well, come and get me, bitch.
He's not been caught yet.
Not been caught yet. So apparently, Command Sergeant Major Clinton Murray is now trying to submit his retirement package so he does not have to go through and undergo UCMJ action.
Funny thing about that UCMJ thing, it can put a lot of items on hold.
Weird.
Oh, and not to mention the fact that you can be recalled back to active duty. Charges and crimes that were committed during active duty.
Right. Weird. So moving forward. Let's see where I took notes because let's face it, like Jose's goddamn broken English is really hard to understand sometimes. So I took notes. And in the order of his article. So apparently male soldiers who are caught having sex downrange, which, technically goes against General Order Number 1, right? And anyone who's deployed, you're told no fucking, which is how you get really creative in how you bang each other downrange so you don't get caught. So everyone who's getting caught right now, you really need to work on your tactics. Anyways. So male soldiers who were caught having sex downrange were sent back home and were being sent to pre-ranger school, whether or not they were ready for ranger qual or not. Just to avoid any UCMJ action and to avoid, again, having the unit look bad. Apparently, they have undermanned teams downrange, and they are taking unqualified mechanics on convoys to round out the numbers. Apparently, if you're in Sergeant Major Clinton Murray's inner circle, congratulations! You no longer have to worry about PT or height and weight standards because they no longer apply to you per Sergeant Major's orders because, again, this is going to make the unit look bad. Unit PAO reps are not public affair officer MOS qualified. They just happen to be whatever hot young female soldier is around. Which, that's not shady.
Because anybody can use a point and shoot, right?
I guess. The commander, and like I said, the commander's spouse is the admin for the unit Facebook page and was paying Facebook somehow for the page to be promoted, which is a big no-no. I don't know if you guys know this, but, our, WTF Nation Radio's PAO officer does this, with the Army, so he knows all about this, and he's like, oh, that's a big no-no. He started freaking out. There's also segregation in the unit, which goes against EO, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not due to like ethnicity or sex or whatever. It's against Ranger Tab versus not Ranger Tabbed.
But that's been a clique, quote unquote, since the dawn of time, basically.
In a CAV unit, where Sergeant Major Clinton Murray is not tabbed.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yes. So those who are in fact Ranger tabbed, like Ranger qualified, they get to go down range, except for the females, apparently. Because, again, you know, females can't be rangers. Well, I mean, I guess now technically they can, but good luck, ladies. Like, if you can make it, more power to you. But no, so new lieutenants coming in to the unit, apparently, if they were ranger qualified, they got to go on the deployment and go forward with the rest of the unit. If these new LTs were not ranger qualified, they stayed in rear D. Now another thing, which has apparently been going on, and I don't know how long 373rd has been downrange. I don't know that detail.
It's been a hot minute because they're getting ready to possibly come back, is the rumor.
Well, the female soldiers who have gotten knocked the fuck up downrange, which I don't understand how that's possible. Birth control is free in the Army, especially when you're fucking deployed. Like, it's come on now, ladies. But anyways, so female soldiers who have gotten pregnant while deployed, they are getting chaptered on a Chapter 8, which is a pregnancy out, right? Mm-hmm. Which, per that chapter, they are able to come back in after the kid's born.
I was saying, doesn't that give them an RE code 1?
Yes. So they are able to re-enlist and come back in. However, if she discloses who the father is, the male soldier gets kicked out for misconduct, and that you are not able to re-enlist in.
No, because that'll fall under RE code 3 or 4. Even though you could get, now let's set some ground rules here. You can receive an RE code 4 for when you get out, and your discharge code, which is a 3-letter code that categorizes, there we go, your discharge. But your actual discharge can still be honorable and or general, and so you still get out with all the benefits, all that stuff. It's just that RE code and that discharge code say whether you can come back in or not without a waiver. So let's lay some make sure everybody kind of understands that there's a big difference between the two.
Yes. So females are being put out, but they are very able to get back in without a waiver, right? Because, again, Chapter 8. But the men who knocked them up, a.k.a. baby daddy, they get kicked out for misconduct, which, like Grey Cloud just said, can fall under a general discharge, which, if you get that is very, very hard to get back in without a waiver. Apparently, 3/4 of the senior leaders have been or are currently under investigation. And numerous officers have received letters of reprimand.
Now, the big thing about the letter of reprimand,
right?
is
like
how it gets filed.
I was going to say, you're more familiar with, the officer side, considering you're like a pretend officer, or you were a pretend officer.
Technically, again, a lot of it depends on how it gets filed. If you receive a GOMAR, which is a General Officer's Memorandum of Reprimand, it's filed of one of two ways. It's either filed locally or it's filed permanently. If it is filed locally, it goes away upon PCS from a duty station, which would be, like, say it's issued downrange under that command, and you PCS or TCS back to your home station. Or if you PCS from one duty station, CONUS, to another duty station wherever throughout the world, it'll go away. If it is filed permanently, it'll follow you forever and probably will end your career. So a lot of it will depend on how it gets filed and who is actually issuing the letter of reprimand. But usually those come down from
a general. Okay. So I'm currently right now I'm looking through notes that I received from Jose Tamale himself. Mostly because I was like, hey, I'm talking about your article. Do you have any insider tips or like insider information for me? Because, you know, I bat my eyelashes and I normally can get away with whatever I want. Just kidding. Just kidding. Wow. That's not how it works.
We're going to talk offline later about that.
No. Whew, okay, no. So apparently, according to Jose Tamale, the unit public affairs rep has her own call sign, which is according to the patch that she's wearing, because apparently her patch is different than everybody else's patch. So yeah, and then also, unit is sending back people from Afghanistan to avoid UCMJ action, letting the rear decide their fate and not the forward command.
And see, that's some fucking bullshit, because the rear technically has, in theory, would have no evidence or no
right? Yes.
If it doesn't follow them, there's nothing to charge them on or pursue any action whatsoever, whether it be administrative and or legal.
Yeah. Also, rumor has it, senior leaders have created false accounts to try to persuade Jose's story.
What? Come on.
And have also apparently been messaging him, trying to meet with him in private to talk about his article before it was released.
Are they offering him burritos or tamales?
I'm not sure.
That might sweeten the pot a little bit.
Right? But
I'd get spooky.
He told me, he's like, yeah, so senior leaders are creating false profiles. I was like, oh, shit. And he was like, well, we suspect anyway. And I'm like, oh, this just gets better and better.
Joseph, that's why they're doing it, Grey Cloud. Yeah, I would, again, creating a false account to try and get information out of Jose Tamale.
Good luck.
Good luck. Because none of us were born yesterday.
He's fucking elusive. Like, you think let's just face it, like, Jose Tamale is the epitome of the E4 mafia. He knows how to get information and he knows how to evade detection. He is like the SPCIC of the army. It's true, he is. Like, he's an elusive little dude.
He's been they tried to catch him at NTC a couple months ago.
They did.
And it was close. He was sleeping out in the box somewhere with a poncho.
Or was he?
All I know is he found he got us a photo of a running striker that was not manned.
No. I missed that.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome, actually.
Oh my god.
It was running unmanned, unlocked.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. We ran that story several months back.
Dude, I missed that. Oh, son of a... Why did we not talk about this? Grey Cloud, you and I have been partners now for months. Why have we not talked about this?
One, I think that story happened before we were paired.
Oh.
So there's that. But yeah, that was it's yeah.
Crazy. Oh my goodness.
So and Nation, here we go on this story is that this is not what's known as single source, right? There are multiple sources confirming a lot of this information. Jose does his homework. He's not just a fire and forget kind of guy where he's like, oh, I got some information, I'm going to throw it out there. No, he does his due diligence. He does his background checks, and he does look for additional source of information which corroborates what he's already got. So this is not a one-off.
Right. But yeah. Apparently, like I said, fucking 82nd CID has apparently said we're coming after you. Or they're trying to make threats against him. And he, again, has responded something along the lines of, I don't care, SA, come and get me.
Well, he might. he might say that exact phrase.
Right? He might.
Then
with Spanish thrown in there, which I don't read Spanish, I don't speak Spanish. Like, the extent of my Spanish is ¿Dónde está baños?
Cerveza, por favor.
Yeah, una cerveza, por favor. Like, ándale. Like, that's it. That's it. Like, I know how to ask for a beer, and I know how to ask, where's the bathroom?
Yep, and those are the two most important phrases you can know in Spanish.
That's all I need to know.
That's all we need to know.
That's it.
But no, so as we're talking about 373, and they're the hot topic right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, and it's got over 300,000 reaches.
Really?
Yeah, this is a hot story. This kind of goes back to when I started the show yesterday when I broadcast. I played that speech, an excerpt from that speech by General Schwarzkopf, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that, it asks, what does it take to be the leader of the 21st century?
Go on.
Right? He asks, where are the Pattons? Where are the Bradleys? Where are the MacArthurs? And he ends it by saying, they're gone. They're all gone. Right? And then he challenges, and this is the Corps of Cadets in 91, okay, that they will be out there and that those next Bradleys and MacArthurs and Eisenhowers lie among them. But as we're starting to see, that's not the case. It's not the case because you have this toxic leadership that is affecting the military, not in a single unit, but as we can see with the reach of this story, across the board.
So, I know you're in the middle of a thought. However, I need to interject. Does this go back to what you, me, and Ice talked about on Thursday, where it's from this culture that the Army had of promoting people faster, or like promoting bad leaders faster than what they should have been promoted?
I think it does to a point. Now, don't get me wrong. I've met 5 in my career field that were promoted in 7 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic NCOs. One, I think, went on, as I remember correctly, one of them went on to be a warrant officer. Fantastic NCOs. They knew their job. They were great NCOs. But I've also met the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've met those 7 and 7s who were not ready. I've met staff sergeants and sergeants who were promoted, who quote unquote fast tracked to those ranks, and they were not ready. And you see that in their leadership style and how they interact with everybody else.
But do you think that this whole, I guess, culture of promoting leaders who are not leaders or who are not ready to be leaders has stemmed from what's the right phrase? Like trying to promote people ahead of time, to where to fill numbers. Then like that's pretty much it. It's just to fill numbers.
I don't think it's so much that. I think it's I hate to say it this way, but I think the system is semi-broken. It's not broken completely, but it does. There's a numbers piece to it, and then there's the evaluation of those who need to be promoted or that should be promoted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for centralized boards, which is everything for all officers basically, and then senior NCOs. So they're looking at on one hand, they're looking at what's in front of them on paper, right? So that's all they get is what's on paper.
Yeah.
And a photo. And boards are basing these decisions based on what's on paper. And they do have a cut line. They do have a certain number that's projected to be promoted. It is broken down by MOS and whatnot and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I do think it happens that sometimes you have to fill a number. So you have to go back to those who didn't make the cut and reach and reevaluate those that are below that original cut line based on your numbers and based on your percentages, because you have to make that number for those that promotion board.
Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. The Sergeant First Class and above boards, like you said, it's nothing but your fucking DA photo and a list of your shit that you've done, right? Your NCO, your NCOERs. That's all it is. Or your OERs, whatever. That's your fucking board. And the board members decide, hey, this is what we're going to look for. We're going to look for if this person has done X, Y, and Z. Do you think that the system needs to be changed where they need to look at more than just, oh, look at what they've fucking done, instead of look at what they do? Because NCOERs and OERs, they can be written up and fluffed to make anyone look good on paper. But when it comes to how they are in person and how they are as an actual leader, they can be either exactly as they are on paper, or they can be the exact opposite.
Right.
It all depends on who's
that's a great point. You've hit it spot on. And the system, so they started this thing that's called the 360. I forget what it's called, but it's like a 360 evaluation of yourself that you have to do. So you have to send it out to 2 superiors, 2 peers, and 2 subordinates, right? Mm-hmm. That fall somewhere in your sphere of influence. And I'll get there. Is it Branko? I'm going to get to that point as well. Don't worry. But I don't think that input from that 360 evaluation is ever taken into consideration. I truly don't, because these people are still getting promoted, and they need to fix this system, because we'll tackle NCOERs here first, because before they change the system, and I know it's supposed to reflect better now, is that if you didn't get a 1-1 or a 2-1 or 1-2, you were a shitbag. So if you look at and I forget the formula, but if you look at the old NCOER, right, there were 5 blocks, right? 1 through 3 on the form says success.
Yes.
Right? 4 was a fair and 5 was poor.
Yes.
Okay? It became so damn detrimental if you got a fucking 3, right? If you actually look into and read how you were supposed to fill out the form, you could check 3-3, right? Do Met standard or whatever it was, and not put any fucking bullets in it, and that's supposed to be a success. That means you did your job, you didn't go above and beyond, and you didn't do anything to fuck anything up. So at that point, Use the 3-3. Use the fucking form like it was designed. And you save those 1-1s, those 1-2s, those 2-2s, those 2-1s, and whatnot for those that actually need it and deserve it and have gone above and beyond. Use this form like it was fucking designed. But no, everybody needs a fucking 1-1. Everybody needs a 1-2, right? 2-2s are going to kill my fucking career. Bullshit. If the form was used correctly, it would not. It'd show that you had a fucking heartbeat and did what you were supposed to be fucking doing and making it happen. But no, I need a 1-1. Why didn't I get a 1-1? Why didn't I get 1-2? No, everybody wants to bitch and moan. And you know what? It makes it fucking worthless at that point. You might as well wipe your ass with that piece of paper, that NCOER. Oh, look at all this shit I did. I got a 1-1. Fucking it doesn't mean shit.
Because everyone else got a 1-1.
Everybody else has got a 1-1. So how do you separate the wheat from the chaff at that point? Well, that's why you got fucking 7-7 and guys that don't deserve to be promoted to fucking sergeant first class and first sergeants and sergeant majors. You're in those positions. And you're fucking doing a disservice to your junior enlisted and those that are looking up to you that are going to replace you one day. So fuck you. Fix the system and take care of your fucking Joes. For Christ's sake. Great Cloud Rants matter.
Are you okay?
I'm good. Now, George Branko's point in Facebook Live, and it does get political to a point. It really does. Because, and not so much, it kind of gets it to the NCO and the senior NCO level and whatnot, when you're looking at sergeant majors and whatnot. But it really starts to play politics when you are looking at officers, when you start to look at those 06s and those general officers, right? That's when it really starts to become politics. Case in point is H.R. McMaster.
Who's that?
Right? I served under him.
I don't know who that is.
H.R. Really?
Yeah. Medcom.
H.R. McMaster is the National Security Advisor to the President of the United States.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
He's an armor officer, and there are some things I did not agree with the way he did it.
Dude,
I would follow him in a battle to begin with.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you. He was not under my chain of command, therefore, ergo, Latin, I don't know who he is. He was not in my fucking chain. Because again, Medcom, and we focused on Medcom shit.
Gotcha. But again, I would follow H.R. McMaster back in the battle. I really would. However, he was, when you start to, Branko, go ahead. When you start to talk politics, he is an example of how politics plays an issue, right? Because he wrote a book for his doctorate about the failings of the Vietnam War. And he blamed a lot of officers for what happened. And I'm trying to get a hold of the book. It's called Dereliction of Duty. But he wrote this book, right? And it pissed a lot of those guys off that were going to oversee or have influence on his promotion to general.
Yeah.
Petraeus was actually brought back from serving as, I think he was the CFLIC commander maybe at the time, to oversee his board to ensure that there was no undue influence on McMaster's next look at general. And when that happened, H.R. McMaster was promoted to general, his first star. So politics, to a point, does play an issue. But there we go. And that's all I got to say about that stuff.
Are you sure that's it?
That's it, unless you get me going again.
I mean, it seems rather easy these days. If I get you laughing too hard, you almost die. If I say the right thing, you get triggered. This is good. Let's see how else I can kill Gray Cloud tonight.
Let's not. Yeah, that would be bad. Maybe, perhaps.
I know. I told you during the break I got concerned. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to call 911.
Yeah, that would have gone
I don't know where you live.
Super fantastic.
It really would have, because I would have been like, hello, like 911. Yes, my co-host for my radio show, who does not live anywhere near me, is no longer in this Skype screen, and I can't see him. He collapsed. I don't know where he lives, but I need you to go to him.
No.
It would have been phenomenal.
That would have been amazing.
Oh my God.
Hey, you know what? Just send somebody from the team to check on me, and somebody better bring cookies from Mom. That's all I'm going to say.
Someone in the team knows where you live? I'm your co-host. I don't even know.
Oh, we should probably fix that in case I do kill over on the show.
Wait, I'm your boss.
We'll take care of that, because if I do pass out, we need you to call 911.
Yes, we do.
We will fix that.
Oh my God. Gray Cloud.
Ugh.
We can't have you dying on the show. That's bad form. It's frowned upon.
Ugh, it would be bad form. But no, so going back to Jose's story and whatnot, this is bad beyond belief. And I really hope that this all comes out in the wash, and those that are doing this are held responsible. And that's what needs to, and it needs to be seen by the Joes. It really, really does.
Oh, as far as like senior leadership being held responsible?
Not only held responsible, but held accountable for their actions.
Actually, it's a true story. So, as many of you guys know, I have, I know I fucked up, and fucking whatever. So the reason why I got out of the Army was because I had gotten a DUI, DWI. It wasn't as bad, in Germany. And so funny story is that they went through, because I was only, a certain rank, they actually followed through as far as chaptering me, because, I ended up RCPing because I got demoted, only one rank, which, hooray, but still I got demoted. But I RCP'd, right? And so by the time I would have been able to make up my rank, I was going to have to get out. So what had happened right before I had gotten mine is that an NCO had gotten one. And his was an actual DUI, and his caused damage to not only government property but German property.
Oh.
Tell me why that fool stayed in the Army. He got demoted. He technically should have RCP'd as well. Tell me why he got re-promoted.
So, Branko, RCP is a retention control point. What that is you have to hit certain time and you have to hit certain grades and ranks to be allowed to stay in. And it has gone up and down throughout the surge and the drawdown and all that stuff. They adjust the RCP point to try and keep the active duty force at a stable level. So,
yep.
And makes you have a great point is I've seen that, right? All these, you see somebody who has multiple, or they fuck up and whatnot, or they have these issues, but they're allowed to stay in.
Right? They get fucking swept under the rug, and
right.
they almost get forgotten about, and then because of that, they make their rank back. Even though you're like, wait a second, he was supposed to be gone fucking 6 months ago. What do you mean he's getting promoted? And so, but then when it comes to those of us who have not made a certain rank, and when we get demoted, and if we fuck up, even though the entire rest of our military career has been spotless, we don't get forgotten about. Which I understand, you know, they followed the regulations with me, and I appreciate that they did that. You know, because they did what was right. I didn't want to get out of the Army. I didn't want to. I'll fucking admit it. I did not want to get out. And when I got demoted, like, I knew that was it for me. And so then it became well, now what the fuck do I do? Because I had it in my mind, I was doing the Army for 20 years. Like, that was the goal. And so now, you know, that got cut short. So yeah, and it was almost like well, what the fuck? Like, how come this guy gets to stay and I don't, even though he's got a huge record of misbehaving and misconduct? But yet, you know, I fuck up once, like, you know, major fuck up once, and I get, you know, everything's followed to the letter with me. And it's just like, well, is it because I was junior enlisted and, you know, the other guy is an NCO? Like, how come that gets forgiven?
Well, so
I have
questions. And I saw it in here about, you know, time and grade versus time and service and some whatnot. And I could see that playing it to a point, because technically if you reduce from sergeant to specialist, your time in service and your time in rank would technically start over. But there comes a point to where you have to cut your losses for what the good of the Army for certain individuals. Not that I think the whole person concept needs to be more of a factor than a single incident. Right.
All right. So Joseph, could I have gone back in? So funny story, actually. So as I was doing my final out and, you know, out processing for the Army, you know, those of you who have not out processed or like ETS'd or whatnot from the Army, fun story, this is what happens. You have to go through a recruiter's office. You have to go through retention as you're like, I'm getting out, right? Because they want to get you into the reserves, the National Guard. And so I was like, fuck it, you know, I'll fucking go reserves. Like, whatever. Well, due to my MLS and where I was heading, they didn't have a unit for me. And so I was supposed to I had signed a contract. I signed a contract to do 3 years in the reserves, but I was never given a unit to report to. I was never given a phone number to contact anybody. I was never given jack of shit on how to get in touch with my unit. And, you know, being active duty, you kind of expect that, right? Like, you get that in your orders, like, here's your next fucking unit, like, make sure you report on this day, and here's their number in case you need to fucking contact anybody. I never got that. So actually, my 3 years in the reserves were supposed to be up this last month, actually. But I did not serve a single day in the reserves, because, again, I didn't have a fucking unit to go to, and anyone that I tried to contact in the reserve branch were like, we don't know where you're supposed to go. And I said, oh, okay, well, you guys have my number. Like, call me when you figure it out. And they never called me.
That's awesome. So basically you did 3 years in reserves.
I was AWOL for 3 years.
That, or they classed you into IIR.
Dude, I don't know because I didn't have inactive reserve time left because I served more than 8 years.
No, once you're at your 8-year point, you don't know nothing.
I know exactly, and that's why I said that's why I wasn't in the inactive reserves. I signed a contract to get into active reserves.
Reserves.
Yes, the reserves. Nobody contacted me.
Well, hey, you're done.
But my contract is over as of last month, so I guess there's nothing to fear now, right?
Wash your hands of that.
I don't fucking know. Oh, God, it's ridiculous.
It could be worse. Could always be worse.
How can it be worse? I'm technically AWOL, or have been.
They're fine now. Yours is up. You're good. You don't know anything.
How is this good?
Because you don't owe anything now, right?
Well, I didn't owe anything to begin with.
Well, then you're fine.
It's so bad, though. Because honestly, when I got out, I moved to Texas. And then I just sat and waited. And I'm like, okay, well, hopefully somebody gets... you know what? I bet they fucking contacted my AKO account.
Oh, my God.
Which I had no access to.
Of course not.
Because, they took away my cat card.
Well, that happens to the best of us.
Oh, my God. That's probably what they did. They were sending me fucking orders and shit to my AKO.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. Holy shit.
I wonder how many unread messages I've gotten there.
Oh, well, they're all deleted now because they went to the new server system. So they're good now. Oh, so man.
Bad.
But I'll throw this out really quick.
What?
For anybody who might be in 373, if you have additional information that you'd like to provide, Jose,
yes,
please contact the main page. And we will gladly take your side and your information, help us with possibly a follow-up, possibly in addition to what's currently going on.
Right.
But please pass us that information so we can continue to put those in the line of fire who need to be in the line of fire.
Exactly. Help us help you.
Oh my God. Okay, Jerry Maguire.
Oh, is that something Jerry Maguire said? Shit. I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
Help me help you.
Help me. Oh my God.
Awesome.
So bad. Oh my goodness.
Terrible.
All right, y'all. We are going to take a quick break here. Woo! And so when we come back, Grey Cloud and I will be here with the final hour of Tied Up Tuesday. So yeah, wait, let me get that going first. It would have been so bad. Oh my God. All right, we'll be back soon, you guys.
Yourself that everything's gonna be alright. Can you feel that Nobody said I had to relate. At the end it's over, I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. My only demon, my only regret is that I left you with scars so that you'll never forget. Sick of forgiving my mistakes and my faults. Shattered your glass onto millions when I ripped it apart. There's nothing left. Love is gone. So there was a failure to communicate. So set to leave, but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. There was a failure to communicate. So said to leave, but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober.
Voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
We're back.
Okay. So the reason I'm laughing right now is because I just did like a line of Oreos, right? Because as Grey Cloud spits his drink all over his computer. Because yeah, I'm a fat ass and I don't know what self-control is. And so when I eat Oreos, I have to do a line at a time. But then, you know, I need it with milk, right? And so I was like, you know, I finished my Oreos and then I was drinking milk. And Grey Cloud got concerned. He's like, you're not chugging any alcohol right now, right? No, hooker, this is milk. Need you to calm down. Anyways, welcome back to Tied Up Tuesday. This is part 3. Hello. If you have stuck with us this long, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Sorry, everyone on not just Facebook Live, but Mixer and YouTube as well. Thank you so much for being here. Really quickly, I want to give a shout out to one of our little baby pages, which is WTF Nation Gaming. We've recently gotten that back up and going, and KJ and Pookie host it. So if you guys ever see us broadcast video games, that's them. If it's not Grand Theft Auto, if it's Grand Theft Auto, then it's, Red Leg and Ice and myself, Gray Cloud, Pip, Raptor 6. Mike Golf just broke down and bought an Xbox One and the game.
Did.
Spanky plays, Mom plays, KJ plays every so often. I've only seen him on there once, though. But yeah.
No, it's going to be good times, I think, when we start doing that again.
Time.
Now that we're starting to do that again, rather.
Yeah, we normally play we normally play on Wednesdays since we don't have a show on Wednesdays. So, but I really Kaz brought up a really, really good point during our first hour when I was talking about Baltimore wanting the police to come back. And that's an article that I saw today where a leader in Chicago is petitioning the help from the UN.
Oh my God. I saw this article.
To send in peacekeepers to Chicago. Have things gotten that bad? Have your gun control laws
not worked? What? Come on.
What? Blasphemy. Absolute blasphemy. But no, a black, because the mayor's not black. The mayor's, I don't know what he is, but a black, like, civil union or civil leader or whatever. I don't even remember his name.
I got it. Hold an article up right now.
Gray Cloud with the win.
So hold on, give me 1 second.
Wait.
My interwebs are slow. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. And this isn't like some like off the wall site. No, this is CBS Chicago.
That's how you know it's real.
Yeah, that's how you know it's real. So, commissioner suggests UN send troops to fight quiet genocide, and that's in quotes, of gun violence in Chicago. Chicago CBS. Some politicians in the past have recommended deploying the National Guard to help Chicago quell gun violence, but Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin went even further on Thursday, suggesting the United Nations perhaps send in peacekeepers in the face of what he called a quiet genocide. Boykin was traveling to New York to meet with Oscar Fernandez Taranco of Argentina, the UN Assistant Secretary General for Peacekeeping Support, to seek international help with the horrific levels of shootings, quote unquote, and other violent crime in West Side and South Side communities. Quote, I am hoping to appeal to the oh man, it just moved on me. My apologies. Quote, I am hoping to appeal to the UN to actually come to Chicago and meet with victims of violence and maybe even possibly help out in terms of peacekeeping efforts, because I think it's so critical for us to make sure that these neighborhoods are safe, Boykin said at O'Hare International Airport on Thursday. Boykin said leaders in Chicago and Cook County have failed to protect many communities from violent crime. So we're going to stop right there for a second. Really? You can't rely on your own police force and your own governance to protect your communities that you supposedly represent, Commissioner Boykin? That you're going to go ask the UN for this help?
I mean, let's look at though the leadership of Chicago and realize what they have done to fuck up their city.
It's run by the Democrats.
Well, there's that, but how long has it been ran by Democrats?
A hot minute, I do believe.
You're king of Google. Let's go.
God, it's damn hygiene criminy.
So, and but I mean, it's the same with Detroit and all these major cities that are mostly ran by Democrats. And it's not to say that all Democrats are bad. At all. Not saying that. I'm saying that this constant handout of everything does not promote stable societies.
It's true.
Case in point, again, Chicago. The fact that this, what was he? The commissioner?
He's a commissioner, yeah.
The commissioner of Chicago is petitioning to the United Nations peacekeepers to come in and help keep the peace. Which, again, like Grey Cloud said, peacekeepers are normally sent in to war zones or places that nobody else wants to go to help administer peace between two warring sides. So again, war zones. I'm shocked that Chicago has gotten this bad. In a sense. Only slightly. Because again, let's remember Chicago does have the strictest gun laws. You cannot carry within the city limits of Chicago. You can't do it. And getting your concealed carry license, not just in the state of Illinois, but within the city of Chicago, is unbelievably hard. And it's almost like you need an act of whatever deity you believe in order to get one. It's easier if you're outside Chicago city limits. However, getting one inside Chicago, it's like you need a court order saying like, oh yeah, this person is allowed to conceal carry. In which case, sure, you're golden. But if you don't fucking have that golden ticket, you can't fucking do it legally. But as we all know, criminals totally follow the law.
Yeah, and so I'm not finding that statistic. But it's mind-blowing that
decades.
That's what they want to lean on. They want to go to the UN. And you're right, it does. It boggles the mind that the one of the cities with the strictest gun laws in the United States cannot get a handle on their own crime.
You mean criminals don't follow the law? What?
And what was that Pelosi said? Or Feinstein. Well, if everybody else lays down their guns, the criminals would just lay them down too. That's
right?
human nature.
Human nature.
No, it is not.
If we make guns illegal, that means the criminals will turn them in.
Those that have the weapons rule the roost.
Right? Wait, what?
Mash some cold deals.
Like when she said that, I was like, what drugs is she on and where can I get some?
To mash colloquialisms.
Because I need them. Like if I can have that sense of what's the right word? Ignorance and like being that naive. Oh my God, like the world would just be like sunshine and rainbows no matter what.
You just pop your fuck it all every morning and you'll be good.
Right. It's really what it is. It's ridiculous.
Right. So to continue with the little bit of the article here, there's a quiet genocide taking place in too many of our communities. 80% of those who are being killed by gun violence are African American and often killed at the hands of another African American, he said. So we must protect these population groups, and that's what the United Nations does. They are a peacekeeping force. They know all about keeping the peace, and so we're hopeful that they'll hear our appeal. Hold on. What is it? when you see a police car drive by, what is the motto usually in quotes somewhere on that cruiser?
Law enforcement?
No, to protect and serve.
Oh, protect and serve, right? Because that's their job.
That is their job.
To protect and serve
their communities.
Their communities that they're in jurisdiction over.
Right. So
weird.
Once again, you're saying that your own policies and your own city cannot protect.
Well, no, I don't think it's that their own policies or whatnot. I think it's the fact that, one, nobody wants to be a cop in Chicago because cops, like Baltimore, are so restricted on how they can do their jobs and how they can actually, I don't know, enforce the law, that nobody wants to do it. And because of the stigma that has occurred and has been given permission to grow in the last few years, thanks Obama, where cops are looked to as the bad guys. When, I don't know about you, but growing up, like, I was always taught, oh yeah, cops are the good guys. Don't fuck with them, but they're the good guys.
Yeah.
It's almost as though the narrative in the last couple of years, again, thanks Obama, has changed. And that now, and it's especially because, again, we're only on day 2 of 2008 or 2018. There we go.
Wow.
There's an 8 in there. But no, we're on day 2 and we've already had cop shootings. And so cop shootings, where was that? In Colorado?
Yeah.
Right? So there's that. And then we have another cop shooting down in Alabama where this female officer is on life support right now because she was almost ambushed.
Yep.
And like execution style. And so we have all of these members of society who I'm sure want to be police officers. Like, that's what they want to do. Or even, military vets. Well, what do most military vets do when they get out? They fucking go into law enforcement because they're so similar to being in the military.
Yes.
And, case in point, my own fucking brother did it. He got out of the Marine Corps. What did he do? He went straight into the police force. And it's almost, there's this now negative stigma against being a cop. And so now Chicago and Baltimore and a bunch of these other big leftist cities are now facing a shortage of police officers, and then they're noticing a bump in crime. Shocking, I know. Chicago doesn't have the volunteering man force who are willing to step up and say, yeah, you know what? I think I'll be a cop for Chicago because that's going to be a fair fight. And, I'll be backed up by my city. And, if fucking shit hits the fan, I know that my city has my back. Right. No cop in Chicago is fucking saying that right now.
It's a good point. So I saw an article that dropped in one of our chats there, is that Chicago saw one of its least violent Christmas holidays in recent years. How? First of all, why is there shit going down on Christmas? I mean, come on. It's Christmas weekend. Nobody should be having to deal with being shot.
Right, but that's just it. It's fucking Chirac, right?
Wow. Well played.
It is. Chicago is Chirac. Like, let's face it. That's just, it's fucking insane, though.
So, the article reads, and I'm just going to grab a quick snippet out of it, is a total of 25 people were shot, 5 fatally, from Friday afternoon to Tuesday morning, which is the Christmas weekend, according to the data kept by the Tribune. That's a stark drop from last year when 61 people were shot, 11 fatally, in one of the city's bloodiest Christmas holidays in decades. 7 people were killed on Christmas Day alone in 2016, more than on the holiday of the previous 3 years combined.
Like, the fact, though, that they have statistics for this is abhorrent.
There should be no statistics.
There shouldn't be. Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's absolutely abhorrent that there's any statistics for violence on Christmas fucking Day.
I don't understand. I literally do not understand how there can be crime committed on Christmas Day.
Maybe it's our white privilege.
Well, it's Chicago, so it's meh.
Fucking
Hunter and Facebook Live. Bloody Christmas, that's so metal. Oh my God.
Like, I understand shit happens, and, like, you know, we fucking, like, let's face it, the birth of our country, we done fuck some people up on Christmas Day. Like, you know, we're not above doing that.
We will cross the frozen river on Christmas to kill you in your sleep.
Yeah, you're welcome, Britain. You know.
Savage.
You know, but, like, at the same time, for modern U.S. history, though, the fact that like a heavily populated city has a statistic on violent crimes committed on Christmas Day, like, it's inexcusable.
Yeah. You know, because in other places it'd be like, you know, in a normal, I would think it'd just be lumped in with, I don't know, December statistics.
Right, yeah.
But no, they're going to zone in on.
They have to specify that it's during the Christmas holiday, like either weekend or, you know, days.
Yep. And this one is, so apparently the statistic is the few days around Christmas. So based on this, it's from Friday. So was that 2 days before Christmas to the day after Christmas, which was the 26th. So obviously they've been keeping track of the statistic for a hot minute.
Right. And the fact that, I mean, you know, it's sad that the crime does not go down during this holiday time. Like, you know, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, like every fucking religion out there has some sort of holiday during late December. No matter what you practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that's what people, like, you know, for whatever reason, late December seems to be a good time for all religions to have some sort of party.
It's a good time to party.
I mean, nothing else going on. Might as well get fucked up.
Yeah. So to transition while we're staying in the crime beat quick, do you know what swatting is? If KJ was on here, he could tell us all about it, I bet.
Something in the gamer world, right?
Yes. So swatting is when one gamer gets pissed off at another because they're getting their ass beat in a game, and they call in a threat because they find out where this individual lives or works, and they call in a high threat situation to get the SWAT team called on said individual who is kicking said individual's ass. So there's a recent story about this. Los Angeles gamer arrested after police quote-unquote swatting death.
Wait,
police arrested a Los Angeles man Friday after he made a revenge prank call, a swatting, to police in Kansas about a potential hostage incident that resulted in the police killing an innocent man. Tyler Barris, 25, was arrested in South Los Angeles on December 29th on suspicion of making a hoax 911 call to Wichita, Kansas, to claim that Andrew Finch, 28, had a family argument that resulted in the shooting death of Finch's father, The call also claimed that Finch was holding his brother, sister, and mother hostage, and that he poured gasoline around the home, and that he intended to light the home on fire in a murder-suicide.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Wichita police responded to the swatting call with a major incident force to cordon off the neighborhood and prepare for an armed standoff with a barricaded suspect or suspects inside, according to the Wichita police spokesman. Now, the previous story about this is all this other stuff is that the name of the individual who was shot and killed was not known until after the fact that he was shot and killed. Okay? So there's a spat between these two gamers who apparently have no other life at 25 years old, apparently.
Right? Like a job. A fucking job. Like how... all right,
So
sorry, keep going.
It's fine. So he called in this fake threat to an address that was provided to him by this other gamer online who ended up not being, the actual individual involved, based on the other story I've read. So police show up, and they're ready for an armed conflict with this guy. Police stated that when Finch saw the lights flashing outside his house, he opened his front door. Police instructed him to turn around and put his hands up and slowly back out. Finch supposedly complied for a short time, but then his left hand drifted down to his waist. He then complied again when police demanded he put his hands back up and moving backward, but he let his hands drop again. Finch is alleged to have turned toward the officers and quickly dropped his hand to his waist before raising one arm and pointing at officers. One officer fired at least one bullet, hit Finch, who died at the scene. Finch's distraught mother, Lisa Finch, told the local ABC News affiliate, quote, "I heard my son scream. I got up. Then I heard a shot. Police handcuffed the mother, a roommate, and a granddaughter, and then transported them to jail for questioning." Wow, this situation is all kinds of fucked up. The Twitter account of Swatastic took credit for the swatting, but then denied responsibility by writing, "I didn't get anyone killed because I didn't discharge a weapon, and being a SWAT member isn't my profession." End quote. After Twitter suspended Barris's account, he went on YouTube's Drama Alert to explain that Swatastic was minding my own business when he was contacted by an angry Call of Duty player that wanted another player swatted. Swatastic bragged, "Sure, I love swatting kids who think that nothing's going to happen." The Creebs on Security blog contacted the Swatastic account. Barris claimed that he's been the victim of swatting attempts himself and that this was the reason he decided to start swatting others. Swatastic added, "Bomb threats are more fun and cooler than swats in my opinion. I should have just stuck to that." Swatastic claimed that he was behind the bomb threat that disrupted the FCC net neutrality vote earlier in the month. Wow.
Are you...
NBC News reported that following up on Wichita police leads, the LA Police Department arrested Tyler Barris on a fugitive warrant on December 29. NBC News reported that unnamed local sources had claimed Barris had been living in a transitional recovery center. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, literally.
Oh my god. So because of a prank call, someone is dead now.
Someone is dead, and this guy is being held without bail.
Good. He needs to be. And his whole thing of, like, oh, like, I didn't do anything wrong because I wasn't the one who actually pulled the trigger. Dude, you fucking made a fake police call, which has now resulted in somebody's death. You totally need to be held responsible. And the fact though that you've been doing this for a while and then admitted to being the reason why there's a delay in the FCC vote because you called in a fake bomb threat, that's also not okay. Your ass needs to get slammed to the fucking wall. Yeah.
Yep. So here, because you're losing on a video game, really?
That's just fucking absurd to me. Like, listen, I suck at video games. Like myself, Red Leg, Pip, Ice, and Six have all started to play Rainbow Six, which I am not good at. I don't tactical at all. I just kind of like run through and then I spin in a circle while I go, as I shoot my weapon because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I push all these buttons and then nothing happens. And so I just spin around in a circle. That is also a, good depiction of what I do when I play Call of Duty. Again, I'm not tactical. I don't have the patience for that. I don't. Like, why do I need to hide behind something? Like, can't I just, like, go in and assault the objective? Like, why do I need to be, stealthy about this and think about the, implications of what happens? Like, I'm just going to respawn anyways. Ergo, why I stay medcom. But no, the fact though that these kids are getting so, and I say kids because one, he's 25, so he's younger than me. Two, obviously he's still a child if he's getting so worked up over being sniped out in a video game by a fucking camper, fucking or whatever, that he then calls somebody to have a fake bomb threat or hostage situation put out. Like, how fucking childish can you be? Do myself and the other, WTF gamers encounter this? Hell yeah, we do. Fucking sometimes we get some people on, Grand Theft Auto who like to fucking just kill us every so often. And then we're like, God, this sucks. And so what do? We just go to a different fucking, room. That's all you gotta do is just be like, all right, well, fuck you. Like, you want to be a douche, you can play by yourself. Bye. You fucking move on to the next room. It's not difficult. It's just, it's sad that because this one dude got his fucking vag full of sand and his panties in a fucking wad up in his butt crack over a goddamn video game.
Yep.
Now someone is dead. How is that fair? How is that justice? How does that make anything okay?
It doesn't at any level. And it's like I said, it's over a fucking video game.
Oh. Right, yeah.
But moving on. Do we want to talk about Asian Cartman?
Oh, Asian Cartman. Go on.
Quote. Trump taunts North Korea.
Justin Jensen hates me. That's nice. I don't know who the fuck you are, right? New phone, who dis? I don't fucking give a shit about your goddamn opinion of me, Hunter. If that's even your real name. Or no, sorry, not Hunter, Justin. Whatever. Ugh. Honestly, I don't fucking care if you like me or not. I'm not going to lose sleep over this at all. It's not my fault you have a small dick. Continue, Grey Cloud.
Trump taunts North Korea. My nuclear button is much bigger, more powerful.
I mean, it is. Right? Speaking of dick sizes.
Yep. So I'm going to read in the article, there's a capture of one of his Twitters. I want to read that first. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un just stated that the nuclear button on his desk is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it's much bigger and more powerful than the one than his, and my button works.
That's funny. That's almost like what Mattis said in a remark that was made to him. So someone had asked Secretary Mattis, no, he's still a general, if he carries challenge coins. And Secretary Mattis, in all holy things that he is, responded by saying, I'm saving my money for bombs. Touche. Touche, good sir. Yes.
I don't need no challenge coin. Here's a Moab.
Oh, wait. Sorry, Justin. That's right. I apologize. I'm sorry. I saw your first name. I'm sorry.
Is this Jazzercise Justin?
Yes, this is Jazzercise Justin.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, darling.
Awesome.
I'm really sorry. I redact all of my previous statements.
Oh my god.
Redacted.
Redacted. So.
And the only reason I'm wearing a tank top is because, one, I was sweating because I had a fever and I was trying to break it. So I literally have my house set at 80 degrees right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I needed to break my fever.
Oh. So continuing on with my button is bigger than your button.
Sorry.
The evening message followed more than a dozen others Trump had sent throughout the day on issues ranging from the New York Times coverage of his administration to conflict in the Middle East. Kim said Monday in his annual New Year's Day address that the entire mainland of the U.S. is within the range of our nuclear weapons, and the nuclear button is always on my desk of my office. They should accurately be aware that this is not a threat but a reality. In the address, Kim also expressed a desire for a peaceful resolution with South Korea, a break from the aggressive language he has used to threaten the U.S. Trump, as is part of his Tuesday morning Twitter storm,
woo!
Yeah, said that the potentially warm gesture to South Korea from Kim is perhaps good news, perhaps not, and referred to sanctions and other pressures on North Korea. Now, I will say this, is that the offer of trying to ease tensions between the North and the South by trying to establish this to get the delegation to the Winter Olympics, because that's what the initial statement was about on Monday, could mean a lot of things, could not mean a lot of things. I've read a couple other stories where the administration seems open to this, and that they may want to try and pursue this as a possible avenue of approach as the Olympics start to approach. But that being said, though, and KJ talked about this a little bit during the noon hour, and I threw in there that South Korea will not make a move without consulting the U.S. first.
No, they won't.
They just won't. And
we are their biggest and closest ally. And we still have forces in South Korea. And South Korea won't move without us.
And that's what makes it a very interesting point, is that, and we talked about this last night a little bit, is that the Russia, it goes back to the Russia thing about the doping and whatnot. But that's great. Russia is not being allowed to have a delegation. But the athletes are not being punished if they have qualified for the Olympics already. So,
wait, why is Russia not allowed to have a delegation?
Because they had a sponsored doping practice that they were found guilty of by the IOC. So the IOC is banning an official Russian delegation. However, they are not going to punish the athletes who have qualified for the Olympics. So if a Russian athlete wins an event, it'll be the Olympic banner and the Olympic, the IOC song or whatever it is, their official whatever, that gets played while they're on the podium.
Oh, that's right. The Winter Olympics are this year.
In February.
Where again?
In South Korea.
Oh.
On north of Seoul, I do believe.
That's right. And that one snowboarding chick has said that she's not competing for President Trump.
No, she's competing for the nation.
Right. But she had to put out a statement that says, I'm not competing for President Trump. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
No shit, you're competing for the United States.
Right? That's why you fucking wear the nation's flag and not the president's flag. That's why when you win, we hear Star Spangled Banner and not the president's march.
Yes. What?
God, fucking hookers are dumb.
Yeah. But, and then and I gave I threw some tinfoil hat stuff at KJ last night, and I don't know if he brought it up today at noon, but so we found that the defector that came across had anthrax antibodies, right? So obviously he's been immunized to anthrax. So what if this is all a ploy to get a delegation to South Korea that's infected?
Well, no, we talked about that. When did we talk? We talked about that Friday, right?
Threw that out there?
Right?
Right. Oh, the defector. Yeah, the defectors.
Those that have been defecting, when they've gone through medical or whatnot, they've found antibodies for biological warfare, which completely goes against everything in the war rule book.
Supposedly. It's against the rules somewhere.
Yeah, right? I think it was, what was it, after World War I with the mustard gas? They were like, maybe
we should not be using these things.
We should not be doing biological warfare because this causes undue suffering and is inhumane, right? I think that was amended into the war rule book after World War I.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole convention and treaty signing and all this other stuff.
Somewhere, something, yeah.
But it kind of makes you, and you always go back to when you're talking doctrine and things like that on what could the enemy do? What's the enemy's most likely and most dangerous, and all these other ways to approach this whole thing. But that's something you actually have to consider.
Yeah.
Right. I would, based on saber rattling, based on current tensions, I don't put anything past the North Koreans.
And the fact though that they have now out of nowhere have started lessening their, I guess, phrasing, if you will, towards the South, that makes me highly suspicious. In that, well, what are you planning? Because up until now, it has always been, we are going to eradicate, we are going to completely take over the South and fuck your capitalism.
Right.
But then out of nowhere, really, this change of tone has come over our angry Asian Cartman who has never shown any sort of, I don't know, flippage, if you will, up until now. I mean, let's all remember he killed his half-brother.
Right.
Like, let's not forget he had his half-brother assassinated. So the fact that literally out of the blue overnight, he's now softened his stance towards South Korea, I don't buy it.
Again, and I don't either, and that's when I throw the, and I hate to say it, the tinfoil hat theories out there of there could be something else in the works here to try and get this delegation in. Because again, if South Korea is not going to let North Koreans into the South, well, then they don't get the delegation in.
Yep.
Period. It's their country. It's their, what's the word? I just lost it. Passport and visa rules to allow who they want in. So this could be, it'll be interesting the next 30 days or so to see how this actually plays out not only in the international community, but amongst talks with China, Japan, South Korea, and the U.S., because those are the big players there.
Yeah.
So that. But how much influence will the IOC actually have in allowing this to happen? And that's, yeah. I mean, again, the next 30 days are going to be interesting as we start to see what kind of tone. Again, but it also could be, well, again, Trump said it, his people ain't getting shit.
Yeah.
No money, no food, no oil.
Oh, but China was just caught transferring oil to North Korea.
Yes, they were. And that's a whole other issue.
Naughty, China.
Do
you have that article?
I do not have that article pulled up, no.
I need you to do that.
Lordy, okay.
Really quickly. So while Great Cloud does that, I'm going to do housekeeping a little early. Just so while we're waiting for him to pull this up, I can talk to you guys. So, as you guys know, we do a show 6 nights a week. So tonight is Tied Up Tuesday with myself, Minx, and Gray Cloud. Tomorrow, we don't have a show. Thursday, we've got, not only do we have Jose's Taco Truck in the afternoon, but we also have Sergeant's Time with Ice, Mike Golf, and Doc Madness. Friday is Friday Night Freedom with myself, Minx, and Pookie. Saturday is Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie, and sometimes Doc Madness. Sunday, we've got the Green Room with Jason and Charlie. Monday, we have the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. And then we're back to Tuesday. And Tuesday also has Jose's Taco Truck, as well as Tied Up Tuesday. So Jose's Taco Truck is every, like I said, Tuesday and Thursday. And it starts at noon Eastern Time. And then all of our evening shows, the rest of the week, start at 2000 Eastern Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Time. For those of you who don't understand military time. Which, there's some out there, I guess. Oh,
there's some military that don't understand it.
I just saw that gay fucking purple flower float across. Where has that thing been? I've seen side note, I've seen so much shit here where I'm like, God damn it, where is that gay fucking thankful flower? Because I need this right now. And it's fucking gone. No, the little reaction buttons that you can do, and how for a while Facebook had that fucking gay flower in there.
Yes.
Thankful. I need it. mostly just to be an asshole because again, I'm a bitch.
No.
No, come on.
Not always.
Come on.
1% of the time.
No. All right. Did you find that article?
I did find the article.
Oh, okay. Pray continue.
All right. This article is from CNN Nation. It was updated as of 2046.
Wait, CNN, that's fake news.
Not always fake news.
It's fake news. It's CNN.
Shh. Updated at 2046, Friday, December 29th of 2017. South Korea sees a ship it claims transferred oil to North Korea.
Awkward.
South Korea has seized a Hong Kong registered ship that allegedly transferred oil to a North Korean vessel in violation of United Nations sanctions. The South Korean Foreign Ministry said the Lighthouse Windmore left the port of Yusu in South Korea carrying refined oil, which was then transferred to a North Korean ship in international waters on October 19th. The U.S. Treasury Department released satellite imagery. Hold on. The Treasury Department releases satellite imagery?
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue, apparently.
How did the Treasury...
Wait,
no, but seriously, how does the Treasury Department have access to any satellite dishes that can have any sort of photos?
I don't know, but that's impressive because it's in international waters.
Does the Treasury, the department that is over our money, have access to satellites over international waters? I have questions.
Yeah, and we don't have enough time to even try and divulge into that. So continuing, released satellite imagery in November of two ships allegedly performing an illegal ship-to-ship transfer in international waters on the same day. Satellite imagery, the U.S. says, shows a ship-to-ship transfer possibly of oil between two vessels in an effort to evade sanctions on North Korea. It identified one of the ships as a sanctioned North Korean vessel, the Rai Song-gang 1, but did not name the other. The UN Security Council on Thursday added that the Rai Song-gang 1 and 3 other vessels to a list of ships banned from docking at ports worldwide for breaching North Korean sanctions. South Korea officials could not confirm Friday whether the second ship was the Lighthouse Windmore. Quote, UN Security Council sanctions prohibit the transfer of anything to a North Korean ship, end quote, a South Korean foreign ministry official told CNN, adding the Lighthouse Windmore was seized when it re-entered Yusu on November 24th. U.S. President Donald Trump said Beijing had been caught red-handed after the satellite images were republished in South Korean media earlier this week. South Korea said the Lighthouse Windmore and its crew were still in South Korean custody and under investigation. There were 23 Chinese nationals and 2 Burmese nationals on board the ship, officials said, adding that they would be permitted to leave only when the investigation was concluded. China has denied breaching UN sanctions on North Korea. The Lighthouse Windmore was one of 10 ships the United States asked the United Nations to ban from international ports this month over its alleged dealings with North Korea, according to Reuters. That move came after the United Nations blacklisted 4 ships in October, including one that was caught smuggling 30,000 North Korean-made rocket-propelled grenades in 2016. According to South Korea, the Lighthouse Windmore was being leased by a Taiwanese company, the Billions Bunker Group, and was en route to Taiwan when it made a ship-to-ship transfer of its oil cargo to 4 ships, including 1 North Korean ship. This is one of the many ways in which North Korea uses an illegal network to circumvent UN Security Council sanctions, the South Korean Foreign Ministry spokesman said. It is customary in South Korea that officials do not give their names. The Hong Kong government said in a statement Friday it has noted media reports that the Lighthouse Windmore had been seized. We are liaising with the Korean parties concerned to obtain further information about the incident and will take appropriate actions as necessary, the statement said. So, apparently North Korea knows how to get around sanctions. It's interesting that it's taken this long to find these things out on why the sanctions, one, are the sanctions actually working? Or are they not working? Again, it goes back to that conversation we bring up several other times, is that what more can we do to keep them from doing what they're doing? What else can we take away? And obviously it's not working because
they're still getting supplies.
They're still getting what they need. They're finding ways around it. I don't know. I'm at a loss on how to actually process this, on what can we as the U.S. do to try and bring North Korea into compliance with everything they're sanctioned for. Because there's nothing else we can, I mean, what else can we take away at this point?
Their country. But then that gets back into our argument of first strike versus waiting to respond.
Yep. Until either one, that regime is replaced, or two, Agent Cartman actually flips script and comes to play, it's not going to happen. Justin in the Facebook live chat, lots and lots of bombs, really big bombs.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The best bombs. Oh my God, huge bomb. Oh my God.
Huge bombs.
They use the Moabs. Again, I mean, you might be right, Minx, is that we're out of options, basically, and we just have to let them play the game and continue to chase them around the international waters on oil. So, Franco, the Japanese have a navy, but it's a naval self-defense force.
Right? It's not an attack navy.
They have nothing offensive because of the way their constitution was written after the conclusion of World War II.
Because they decided to get froggy the last time they had an attack navy.
Yeah.
They got drunk and decided, let's attack the U.S. That's going to be a good idea. And everyone else is like, yeah, because everyone else was wasted on fucking sake too. And so they were like, yeah, no, that sounds like a great idea. See, it was the Japanese version of the good idea fairy. And then, Pearl Harbor happened, and then we decided to drop 2 big-ass bombs on them in response. And then after that, we're like, okay, Japan, to keep you from getting drunk again, you're not allowed to have sake with your navy.
Apparently not.
So,
Dustin
like
Stoner Facebook live chat.
That's like legit 100% historically accurate.
Did you see Dustin Stoner's comment in Facebook live chat?
No.
You have to read it.
Oh, goodness. Which one?
Dustin Stoner.
Oompa loompa doopity doo. I have a Moab just for you. I had to add a word in there, otherwise it didn't rhyme. Didn't follow the iambic pentameter.
Wow.
Look at me go.
Oh, wow. I am thoroughly impressed with that.
What? No. All right. Well, it's time to read our upcoming guest slots.
Yes.
Sorry, my nose itches. So, this Thursday, we have Brett Mango from the Sparta Project. So, Sparta Project is knows how to help because no 2 veterans or first responders are exactly alike or face the same exact issues. They guide, inspire, and heal veterans and first responders who suffer from PTS. They are dedicated to healing the invisible wounds of war and service. Next Friday, the 12th, Oh, I have a guess. Oh, okay. Yeah. Major Crispin Burke, who has been serving on active duty in the U.S. Army since 2002. He is an Army aviator qualified on the UH-60 Blackhawk and the LUH-72 Lakota. Ooh. Right? Ooh. His assignments include the 82nd. Oh, he's in the 82nd. During Hurricane Katrina, Joint Task Force Bravos in Honduras, the 10th Mountain Division during the Iraq War, and the Joint Multinational Readiness Center in Germany. Major Burke administers the blog Wings Over Iraq. He has been featured in the New York Times, Small Wars Journal, Foreign Policy, World Politics Review, and the Wall Street Journal. Aw, that's exciting.
Very good.
Right? And then next Saturday, the 13th, Luis Fernandez from CONUS Battle Drills is going to be on. So that's the list of our upcoming guests. And I know for sure we've got a bunch more in the works. I've got insider information because, I'm part of, the boss team.
Hooray!
Hooray! But yeah, no, we've been hitting up our Twitter really hard, and we're getting guests in, you guys. So if you guys have any sort of recommendation on who you would like us to have on as guest, or if you have someone in mind who you really would like us to interview and talk to, by all means, shoot our radio page a message and let us know, and we will do our damnedest to get them on here. I know for me, one of the people I really want on here is Adam Driver. Well, that's been a little difficult to do. So I found kind of like a stepping stone on getting to him, and that's going through his nonprofit. There we go. So we'll see. Right? Yeah, exactly. Fingers crossed. So that's our show, you guys.
No, it was a good show again. I mean, this is gonna be an awesome year, I think.
I think so too. Right? We're only going up. We're only getting bigger and better. So thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to, what is it? Oh yeah, make sure if you guys want to check out our gaming page if you want to get involved with that. I know KJ and Pookie would appreciate it because they're the ones running it. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else from you, Grey Cloud?
I got nothing, Nation. Again, I wish you all a prosperous 2018 as we go forward in this new year. This is day 2. Go out and conquer the world.
Right. All right, you guys, have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. I will see you on Friday. However, don't forget to tune in Thursday for Sergeant's Time with Ice, Mike Golf, and Dr. Martin.
Give away the shame inside of all the guilt we try to hide. And I no longer have the will to drive all these promises for life. And I will never give into all the shit that life has put on you. The past will stay where it will die and bring an ending to this goddamn life. I've already given up on you, but never giving up on me. Fly the shit that lies